Ah, it's been a while. But we might as well give it another minute. John, we might as well give it another minute before we start because I don't see Sheena yet, and she's our first speaker.
Sheena is there. She's with Robert.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, they're sharing. I just saw Robert. Okay. Well then, you want to give your little talk?
Oh yeah. 1 second. Sorry. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you notice you're all currently muted, and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the co-chair and any presenters who are moving through the agenda. Following the presentations, as we move through the agenda, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to your act icon on your device and pressing the raise hand button, not the wave or thumbs up button, as those will disappear. Only press the raise hand button once. If you press a second time, we'll go back down. If you're calling your phone currently, you can press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute yourself. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support only as we go through the meeting. Is not for if you're asking questions during the meeting and you're asking Zoom chat, the co-chairs will not be able to see the chat. If you are using an older version of Zoom, you will need to go to participants section where you will find the raise hand feature. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see it. Chat for any technical support.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Judy Schneider. I'm co-chair of the Parks Committee along with Felice Farber, but Felice Farber has her big event tonight, so she will not be joining us. I'll be conducting the meeting. Okay, the first item we're going to have on the agenda, Sheena Kaufman, our Parks District Manager for 8 and 15, which includes the Esplanade, is going to talk to us about a program the Parks Department started called Vital Parks for All. So Sheena, we have Sheena and Robert together.
Yes. Good evening. We're gonna can you allow us to share our screen?
Yes, you should be allowed to share a screen now.
Okay.
Oh, do I tap
Share screen, yeah. You should be able to click
click what?
up here. Let me see. Oh, come on. It's not.
Can we share screen on this?
You should be able to. Yes, share screen is on. So
Hit share, maybe.
I'm
Here we go.
There we go.
Right.
Is this the optimized video? I think. What'd I do?
Yeah.
Right here.
Is there drop down?
All right, hold on. Let me see. This is new for us. Oh Lord.
All good. All good.
Did you see it?
We could
Yes.
see, yep, we could see
Can
a
you read
web
it? Okay,
browser.
Okay, they can see. So Rob is gonna do the first two segments, and I'm gonna do the last.
So you can read it, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me if I'm not speaking loud enough. Okay. This Vital Parks, and I'm going to tell you how it works, and I'm going to tell you how you understand the park's vital signs. In other words, what's good and what's not so good. So we know that New York City parks aren't just important, they're vital. It's an investment in parks that plays off beyond the park's boundaries, strengthening our city's health, community, and environment. Below, you can find out more about our New York Parks, Vital Parks for All plan and check your park's vital signs. In other words, we'll tell you how to just select a particular park you're interested in. In addition to helping you understand your access to each of these elements in a vital park system, our goal is also to help you inform about how your park contributes to the system. To do so, we've selected a few key elements and broke them down by park. At a glance, you can check your park's vital sign to determine whether it's clean and safe, green and resistant, and supported by engaged and empowered parks goers. The park's condition score serves as a broad indicator and offers insight into overall condition of your neighborhood park. It's a comprehensive score ranging from 0 to 100 based on highly vetted underlying inspection data. The score encompasses various aspects that makes the park feel clean, safe, and vital, including cleanliness metrics such as litter, structural elements such as play equipment, landscape features such as lawns, trees, and the state of amenities within restrooms. Elements of a vital park system. A vital park is one that's clean and safe, green and resilient, and supported by engaged and empowered New Yorkers. We identified a list of 20 measurable elements that contribute to a vital park system. Each of these elements falls under at least one of these three pillars. Pillar 1 is it's clean and safe.
You don't have to read each of them. Just tell me the green is resilient.
And then I'm not quite understand. What are you telling me?
No, just to give them the head toppings because they can be able to go there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Shana's my boss this evening. So we're taking a look at green and resilient, and supported by engaged and empowered New Yorkers. The Vital Parks Explorer is the best new way to understand the access to the elements that make up the Vital Park system. Browse the map to learn more about your many resources that we offer people across the city. And then, for example, we'll show you an example of John Jay. Okay, we have, it says whether you want to play basketball, swim a lap, or take a walk in this wonderful community setting, John Jay Park and Pool is a place to be. With such impressive facilities, it's no surprise it's packed with families year-round. When the temperature rises, swimmers and sun worshippers swim in the outdoor pool. The 145-foot pool opened its waters to the public in 1940 and has offered locals and visitors from all across New York City an opportunity to cool off and with water sports ever since. We have basketball courts at John Jay, handball courts, public restrooms, eateries, outdoor pools, spray showers, fitness equipment, and playgrounds. Okay.
So,
Sheena?
so I take it from here. So you can go to the parks intranet and you can and reach the Vital Parks from there. If you go to the parks website, all you do is click in the search box and hit Vital Parks.
I've also attached it in the chat below.
Okay. So so far we've invested $3 million in recent investments in John Jay Park. For each park, it gives you everything that we have done up to date. We just chose John Jay Park because we couldn't go through all of the parks. So we just gave you the example of John Jay Park. And it shows on the side where you go. So then when you go to Vital Parks, it'll bring you to this element right here, right? And this is how we vary from the city, throughout the city, to our District 8. So activities, recreation areas, the city is 80%, but we're at 68%, which is fairly good. It's not the best, but people living within 10-minute walk to an athletic field, sports courts, a skate park maintained by parks. We fear is 80% for the citywide, and we are at 68% for District 8. And these are the citywide is what the city is, and this is District 8. Each district within the borough, if you click on the map when you go to Vital Parks, you can go to each district, District 6, District 1, District 2, 3, so forth and so on. And it'll tell you how you match up with the city and what your district area matches up. Ours is 8. We fall short on some things like community gardens. We're very high at cooling features. We are excellent at dog runs compared to the city. We are 17% out of the 20%. Forever Wild Nature Area, we have 31%. Greenways, 96%. Hiking trails, 24%. Nature centers, 21%. Renovated parks, we're at 85% for District 8 compared to the rest of the city. The park patrol, we're at 70%. We have good park patrol in District 8 compared to a lot of the other parts of the city. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but they're very responsive in District 8 as well as in District 6. But District 8, definitely they are very responsive. And we're our parks with high condition scores, we're at 79%. And our playgrounds are at 81%. So these things change as we get better. And you can click on them at any time. And then you can click on each park when you go to Vital Parks, and it'll give you the score for each park within our District 8 unit. Public restrooms, we have 71%. We could do a little better, but at this current time, we are falling short on recreation centers. We're not doing that great in District 8. Street trees, we're doing excellent. Swimming pools, we're pretty up there compared to the rest of this, the city. Volunteers, we have great volunteers, 49%. And of course, we have a big, huge waterfront, and we're at 74%. And this is just District 8. So we would like to get this out, and everyone can view this. This is open citywide for anyone to tap on at any time and see how their park is doing in their area, in their neighborhood, in their district. We were supposed to do this a while ago. Since then, they got slightly some improvements. And this is all on the New York City Parks website. You can obtain this information all on the New York City Parks website. Anybody have any questions?
I do, Sheena. Can you just move what's on the screen up a little bit so that we can go, or down a little bit so we can see what's below?
Okay, hold on. All right. Are you seeing?
Yeah.
I'm very new to this, Miss Judy.
Okay, stop.
Got it.
Okay, no, go back up because I was looking for the heading.
Oh, okay.
CB8, okay?
Yes.
And then citywide. So I'm a little confused. Now, it talked about dog runs. There's no dog run in John Jay. So is this specifically for John Jay?
No.
Or is this for all the parks and community board eight?
So all of the parks in District 8. John Jay, we just showed you the amenities that we just showed you how to get to John Jay.
Okay.
Once you go to Vital Parks, we just chose one. We didn't want to go through all of the parks within District 8. So we just chose John Jay as a.
Yeah, okay. So
All right.
then if I go pick another park like Carl Schurz, a lot of the statistics will be the same because they're for community board 8 as compared to the whole city. Is that correct?
Yes.
So this right here, I'm showing you is for the entire District 8 compared to the city. Now, when you go individually, then it'll tell you all of the stats and all of the amenities for each park within the District 8. You can get any park, but we're just talking about our park right here, our District 8.
Okay, and then I have one last question before we go to the public. Our part of the Esplanade is not included in this, right?
No, so no, District 15 isn't, but you can reach District 15 on the same Vital Parks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the map.
It's on the map. Once you open up Vital Parks, it'll automatically pop up. Let me see if I can get it to show.
It should be on the tab. Mm-hmm.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Middle one.
Middle one. Right? No, we got to go back to the beginning, Rob.
Go down. Oh, you got to go. Here.
Okay.
There, and search for District 15.
You can search.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to 24 Sycamore.
Okay, but I was specifically asking about the Esplanade.
The East River Esplanade.
Andrew Haswell Green.
Okay, you can put Andrew Haswell Green in there. We could just give you an example.
There you go.
Okay.
You can see?
Can't see now.
Can you?
Yeah,
Can you see,
got it. We got it.
Okay, so once you put the pocket, it'll automatically pop up and give you, and it updates as we get better, I should say.
So let me give you a peculiar thing about on when it says Vital Parks and then you have that little window. If you type in Andrew Haswell Green, you'll get a drop down. you'll have to go down. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to the drop down. It's out of the window. Then you just click on that. If
Okay,
you click, yeah,
It pops up outside the window. Just click it, and it'll bring you to this page.
yeah, it's very
Okay.
easy.
And it's mapped out for you, so you can be able to tap on it and see.
okay, very interesting.
And this is open for all parks throughout the city, but we're just interested in ours.
Okay, see, I don't know how much input you have to the Parks Department on what they show, but if you go up a little bit, they've showed the pavilion part of Andrew Haswell Green. Maybe in the spring, where all the new planting is done, maybe they'll change that picture.
Correct.
Oh, what does it look like?
Okay, that's a suggestion I have you can take back to Parks. Whoever does the updating on this.
I'm not that skilled yet, but I'm sure I can remind them to do so.
Okay.
They're probably going to wait till the spring or the early summer to take a photograph. Yeah, we put in 2,500 last year, and then this year we're putting in another 1,400.
Yeah, no, the planting is going to be beautiful this spring. So we thank you. Okay, John, I can't see anyone else's screen. So can you tell me if anyone has their hand up with any questions?
Yes, Yasmina. They have a hand up, so I'll.
Okay,
So I just to be polite, I believe Barbara Rutter had her hand raised before me.
that's okay, Yasmina. We
It's
call
okay.
the
Okay.
public first and then the board members.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so I think this is a wonderful, wonderful idea. I'm just as a quick cross-reference, I just looked at 24 Sycamores. I just looked at John Jay. John Jay appears to have a score of 80. 24 Sycamores a score of 86, which I find really curious. So I'm just wondering what the metrics are. If you've seen me on here before, you know that I have a bone to pick with 24 Sycamores. I feel it's really environmentally hazardous to a lot of the park goers. I think there needs to be a lot more attention towards mitigating the car pollution, the noise from the FDR. Recently, I passed by and just took a walk around, and for the first time ever, noticed how close it is to a working area of Con Ed that contains hazardous waste material. These are really concerning things that people don't seem to be thinking of, thankfully, as they're playing with their kids, but someone else should be thinking about, I think, and I think it should go into the score how environmentally safe the area is.
Okay,
Well-
thank you for your comments, Yasmina. Barbara, I think you're next.
Oh no. So there's still more people from the public.
Oh, go ahead,
Um,
John.
Phyllis is next. Sorry.
Okay. Phyllis.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
So Sheena, I'm actually looking at the map, which is a great map, but I'm not seeing District 15 on the map.
You probably have to put in. You have to probably put in East River. You probably have.
So
to,
you have, let's see, you see that green map?
yes.
There's no 15.
So how can I put this? District 15 is actually made up of District 11, District 8, and well, actually District 11 and District 8. So you're probably gonna have to go through 8 because District 15 is something that we designed within the Parks Borough to be able to better handle the area.
Okay. So then there is no statistics just for Esplanade. Okay, that
it would have fall under the district that it's actually really assigned to, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And I also have to question 24 Sycamore when you don't have working bathrooms.
Phyllis, let me stop you.
Sure.
We're going to have a report at the end on 24 Sycamores. So let's hold the comments on 24 Sycamores till the end of the meeting, okay? Anybody else from the public, John?
Yes, Mary.
Right. Hi. Good evening, everybody. I'm the treasurer of a co-op building at 80 East End Avenue. And, we love the East River Esplanade. And we have a situation, I'm really representing all of the shareholders in my building. We have a situation where at 7 a.m., around 7 a.m. each morning, there's a woman who feeds the pigeons a lot of food. And I know you've heard this before, and John Krause has been reaching out to me, and I thank you for that, John. We're just trying to get involved in terms of how we can rectify this situation. I've been in touch with Carl Schurz Park Conservancy. I don't know, we don't really know what else to do, but I would say that it's become worse, and the birds are now flying onto the balconies on East End Avenue, and they're everywhere. But my most important concern is that it's a health hazard. I saw an 18-month-old girl just like, crawling along the benches, and the benches are full of pigeon poop. And I have never seen anyone out there from either the park conservancy or the park enforcement, whoever is supposed to be cleaning those benches or power washing them. I've seen them power wash the dog run there. That's for the smaller dogs, but they never go across, which is like 20 feet away, to clean the pigeon poop. Even rain doesn't take care of it, and they're new benches. So I think also it's a destruction of property, and I truly think it's such a health hazard. And if it's happening in Carl Schurz Park, I've seen the women elsewhere that are feeding the pigeons. I have to believe it's a major concern in all parks around the city. And what we'd like to do is help and work together. But I don't know, I know it's not illegal, and it would take a while to pass a law, I suppose. But I just would love to hear what it is that's been done already and how we can just clean up the park and the promenade.
So we're in discussion with our park enforcement. It's a very, very delicate situation with the individuals that are feeding the pigeons. And we do power wash. We try our best to do it as often as we can, but unfortunately, I just don't have the staff to do it every day.
I've never seen it, and I walk up there
we I have a big unit, power wash unit, right?
Okay.
We have a big unit that comes out, but if it's freezing rain, we can't do it.
No,
right?
I mean, I've never.
But we do it. We know the problem. We know the issue. It's a very delicate issue that we have to try to work with. I was working with Miss Judy on trying to get some help, because it's a psychological problem with the person. She doesn't respond well when speaking to her. She ignores you.
Can she be ticketed if it is it considered a health hazard? Is there a way other than a legal route?
So she hasn't been ticketed for this action because I believe it's a more mental, it's more mental than it is like she's aware of what she's doing, right? So we have to kind of tread lightly with this situation. And our park enforcement now, we are in the spring, and their hours are going to change. And they said they will come out earlier. At this point now, they don't start until 10:30. She's there at 7, and she's there at 6. I have a 6 o'clock person that comes in. And unfortunately, the day I got the video, the person was unable to come in that day, and she was there that particular day. But we've been missing her. And
well, we have a video. I sent a video.
No, I got the video. I did get the video. I did get the video. But we have to catch her, and then we have to talk to her. We don't want to use any sort of sort of force, because I believe it's a mental sort of thing, and she needs a lot of guidance, right? Really, she needs a lot of guidance, and she's not the only one. Really, she isn't.
No, do you have any authority to create to create a law that? I mean, this is a health hazard.
I do have
people are getting. I can't imagine dogs and people not getting sick. This is like not that you could get birds.
I agree with you. It is a hazard. But it's a hazard all around the city. They're feeding them, all in various parks. We just have to find a better way to how to deal with it.
Mary,
Yeah,
It's a very difficult situation for us, and we're looking to see how we can really address this in the appropriate manner. It's very, very, we don't want to put people in handcuffs. We don't want to arrest people for doing this, because I really think it's a mental situation, and we need to get someone that can really address it, address this problem, because it's
okay,
happening all over.
Um, Mary, I don't know that you've been to our meetings the last few months, but this is an issue that
yeah, I haven't. I didn't know.
that we've been discussing, and
Yeah.
we're trying to get people who do homeless outreach to work with parks and get it under control. And as the weather gets a little warmer, it may be easier because she'll probably be on a more regular schedule going out in better weather. And it's something we are following and we are trying to get under control. Sheena has made a really good effort and has spoken with us on various items, and we're working on it. So just stay tuned, and we welcome you back to next month and the month after. And we'll have Sheena will have an update on this when she does her report each month. Okay, can we go on to the next person, John?
There's someone else. Larry is the last public constituent who has his hand up.
Okay, let's hear from Larry.
You need to unmute yourself.
I have a question about Central Park. Is this the right time to ask, or is it later on?
Well, we do questions at the end, but you're here now, so let's hear it.
Okay, I just wanted to raise, it's come to my attention that the Port Authority has made arrangements with the Parks Department and either the DEC or DEP to destroy the geese nests around Central Park. And these geese are migratory birds that are protected under the Migratory Bird Act. And they basically wait for a month. The poor females sit on the nests for like 6 weeks, and then they destroy the nests. Is there anything you guys could do to help us, or do I have to go? I'm an environmental lawyer. Do I have to basically sue the city, or is it something we can do administratively or politically?
Okay, Larry, would you please be good enough to put in the chat to John your contact information? Let me call the Central Park Conservancy. They come to us for various items, and I'll get back to you. I'll ask them what can be done about this, or I'll give you a name to be in touch with who to talk
Yeah, I think
to.
it was originally done a couple years ago because of concerns about migratory geese and the airports. But these are 2 or 3 nests, and but I asked about this question on the chat, but I'll give you my contact info.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
And then I'll follow it up probably next
Okay.
week with them and get back to you.
Right, because right now we have 2 females that are sitting on eggs.
Okay.
thank
Okay. Do we have anyone else from the public, John, before we go to the board members?
Oh, unmute Barbara next.
Okay, Barbara, let's hear from you.
First of all, in terms of the pigeons, a very bad area, by the way, is that closed street by Rupert Park. I was walking there
James. Are you talking about James Cagney Way?
Yeah. I felt like it was a Hitchcock movie where the birds were coming at me at one point. Literally, I thought they were going to hit me. So that's another area. I don't know if it's the same person, but thank you, Sheena, for working on it and being very sensitive. I thought that was very nice, and I appreciate it. A question about the website. When you gave the statistics about CB8 generally, did that include Roosevelt Island?
Oh, you're my there.
Oh, okay. No, it doesn't.
Okay, great. And it doesn't include Central Park either then, right?
No.
Okay, that's my question. Thanks. So it's a real number then. Because
Yes.
West
So
Vineland skews us a little bit.
Central Park has it's in actually District 13, but it's broken up within the different districts. 11, I believe 11. Some parts of 8.
Right.
Some parts of 10. Yeah.
And
And 7, I believe.
And 5.
And 5, correct. Right.
Okay. So that would be included then? That little part of CB8 would be included? Because the numbers sounded high to me. We always say we have very little green space, and they sounded high. I was wondering if other things were in it.
No, not Central Park wouldn't be in this, no.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think I see Rita's hand. So Rita, you'll be next. And Rita, when this is over, would you give me a call? There's something I need to discuss with you.
Okay. Mary, if Mary's still on, I can tell you how to help your pigeons on your balconies facing the esplanade. You have to buy the surround or that plastic large owl, and you put it up, and they won't come near your balconies. That's number one. Number two, the pigeons on James Cagney Place also are there because of the dog run. And what I have been told is that most dogs don't digest all of their food that they eat, but the pigeons do get and digest it for them. I am hoping that this situation will change. There isn't a bench that you could sit in Rupert Park that is not filled with pigeon poop. But let's hope when the construction comes that it will bring a lot of good things to everybody, including look at all the numbers that we can rise for Community Board 8. We're going to have a bathroom, we're going to have a dog run, we're going to make it fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other hands, John?
No other hands.
Okay, well, thank you, Robert and Sheena. Don't go away. Thank you for this presentation on Vital Parks. We appreciate it. Now we'll go on to the next item 2, a presentation of women's ball hockey. New York City is their name, at Stanley Isaacs by Marcella and Ellie. I think they're both here. John, can you unmute them?
Hey everybody, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, it's always one of my worst nightmares. I'm Marcella Colson. I'm the acting executive director and board president of Women's Ball Hockey in New York City. And today I have with me our youth director, Ellie. Ellie, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Everybody, my name is Ellie Molesky, and as Marcella said, I'm the youth program coordinator for Women's Ball Hockey NYC.
And so we'd like to, thank you for having us on here today and giving us a chance to introduce ourselves. We're going to talk a little bit about what we do. We're going to talk a little bit what ball hockey is, because I'm sure some of us might not be familiar with that. And really what I would like to kind of come away with today is really leave hopefully a clear picture of what we're doing at Stanley Isaacs and what we'd like to go on and do more in the future. And also really kind of to communicate a shared sense of alignment. I think that what we have with the values of you as, a committee that champions equity, access, youth development, and really fostering public spaces that bring people together. And finally, also, we're not really here to ask for anything. We're really here to share and really kind of learn about what the community needs are, and lean on you to maybe help contextualize some of the priorities and things of your community in your district, and to see how we can maybe again, and acting in partnership with you, work together to kind of make sure our priorities are aligned, and that we can help each other reach each other's goals. And so with that being forward, I'm going to attempt the sharing of my screen. So just give me a moment here. This is always little bit of a thing here. So share. Jay?
Yes, you're good.
Yep.
Yes.
It's always a thing for me, and I use Teams normally. So, and then move this, and then we go here. Okay, everyone see this okay?
Yep.
Perfect, thank you. And let me just move this over briefly. Perfect. So let's talk about who we are, Women's Ball Hockey NYC. We are a group. We were founded. I founded the company, the organization a few years ago. We were essentially brought together a bunch of diverse group of women who came together, and we really wanted to use the sport of ball hockey to empower women and girls in our community. We have a fundamental belief that everyone should have an equitable access to sport, and we believe in the positive benefits that come from playing the sport. And so our role is to make sure that everyone has equitable access and the resources and skills that they need, and really can kind of come away with a sense of belonging, not just with the sport, but in their community as well. So that's a big part of what we do. Our mission is specifically to strengthen the New York City ball hockey community by empowering specifically women and girls of all ages, by fostering inclusive opportunities that promote allyship and equity. So that's a big part of what we do, or what we aim to do through playing ball hockey. Now, what is ball hockey? I don't know if anyone here, some of you may be familiar with what hockey is. Hockey, obviously we are fortunate to have the New York Rangers here. We're fortunate to have the Islanders here. But hockey is primarily known as a sport that is played on ice and requires skating. And one of the great things about ball hockey is that all you really need, I don't want this to go yet. All you need to play ball hockey is a stick and your sneakers, and that's pretty much it. And what's so great about it is in our youth programming, we provide everything. So all the kids actually have to do is show up in their sneakers. And here, I'm going to play a video here. And this sort of gives you a sense of kind of what goes on this is from one of our youth clinics that we do. We might be seeing, but you can kind of get a sense for that here. So. This is your park. It was recently refurbished. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of community engagement with parents, youth. Everyone kind of playing fun. So it's a great sport that anyone can kind of play and pick up on their own. And that's why we think that it's the perfect modality of hockey. Because it's so accessible and because it's, which makes it affordable and really that anyone can play. And so we feel that it's a low barrier access sport. So why Stanley Isaacs? Well, it's the only public formalized rink space in Manhattan, speaking specifically on the island. And I'm being careful with my language here. I mean, formalized rink space. So while you can kind of play hockey anywhere, and there are some multi-use spaces and even some spaces that can be used for hockey, this is the only one that's actually a rink that's enclosed 360 degrees and has like a deck surface as well. So for us, it's a perfect place to run our programming. And really, we don't believe in two-tier access. We always want our communities to have the best access. And it's really a great, space to play. It was recently refurbished, as I'm sure you all know, in 2023. And so it's gotten a nice facelift. And it's the boards are now, they were damaged before and they've been corrected. The bench spaces where players kind of hang out or wait before they go on are clean. And so it's, a very nice area or a place to play. Importantly, too, the park is located in, what I would describe as a really high need and high potential area. There is the New York housing space sort of right adjacent to the park. There's tons of community organizations in that area. I actually used to live on this area. I was on 111th between 2nd and 3rd. There's a great community presence here. I know Thomas Jefferson, that park gets a lot of activity as well. And there's a lot of schools in the area as well. So we see it as an area that has a lot of potential in terms of this park can serve a lot of people. And so we really just want to create opportunities that are accessible for people to kind of come in and use the park and not really just use it as a place to kind of pass through, but turn it into sort of a community hub. Hopefully that you got that sense from that video is when at our youth events in particular, we have parents who are watching, they're participating, they're mingling after, they're mingling with our adult coaches from our community. And so you're getting a lot of, networks mixing in a park and sharing stories and moments of joy with each other and really kind of making the space that their own. And we're doing this through the sport of hockey. And that's sort of what makes it, I think, really, really special in a place like New York, where in a sport with hockey, especially that I think has traditionally been associated with, typically white men. And what we're seeing is we have a very diverse community playing. And I think that's something that's really special and something that differentiates us from other organizations that are using the park. And so specifically, what do we do and what type of programming? So I've kind of touched base on the youth clinics, which Ellie will go into more detail. But we do a lot of community building in terms of relying on all of our programs are led by volunteers from our adult community. And so they kind of come in and they support either through coaching, through supporting with administration, doing promotions, cutting sticks. We give away sticks to the community and things like that. And then obviously just the community building that kind of happens from playing a sport and, participating in the joy that brings. And we also do competitive play, particularly for our adult players. So we run adult programming for our adults. And that's whom are also our volunteers. And that gives them an opportunity to, develop skills and build capacity in their sport while also just connecting them and building community relationships as well. So we do youth things, we do community building, and we do competitive play as well. I'll pass the mic over to Ellie now, who's going to talk a little bit about our youth experience.
Thank you, Marcella. So yeah, Marcella did a great job touching on kind of a little bit of our youth programming. So I'll just give you guys a bit more details about what we do and our missions specifically. So as Marcella said, so much of our mission is about access, inclusion, and equity through the sport of hockey. And there's no way to really accomplish those things without talking about the kids, because when it comes to giving people equal access, representation, and seeing that when you're a kid and having access to different opportunities is so vital. And so we're really aiming to show children that, sports can be for them and also give them all the important educational skills that come with something like sports. It's not just about having kids play hockey and having them want to be hockey players if they want to be great, but it's about giving them a space where they can develop skills like teamwork, sharing when they're little, working with other kids, feeling confident. So all these things that we want to foster in these park spaces, we really want to accomplish with these youth clinics. We're right now trying to have bi-monthly, so twice a month, we're working to have these free clinics. And as Marcella said, we also want to not just provide free programming, during the hour, 2 hours that we're at the rink, but we're trying to make sure that we give kids the opportunity to take that with them. So our most recent clinic, we had a free stick clinic where our coaches and volunteers for every single child who attended We brought our sticks for them, we measured them and cut them down and made custom sticks for each child to take home. So they got that like incredible, experience together. And then these kids who had maybe never played hockey before or even a team sport were leaving with a hockey stick that was theirs. And, you could see just by their smiles and excitement, like how much a little moment like that is going to give them confidence that they're going to take with them. And I'm sure we all know that moments like that when you're a kid might seem simple, but they're really big as far as your development and what you take with you. For these clinics, we work with kids right now, primarily from 3K to 7th grade. So we've got a wide range of, 3-year-olds who have maybe never had this kind of organized experience outside of school, all the way up to kids who might be hockey players and play in a league or a team outside of our clinics. And a big thing here, as far as our community building, is like Marcella said, we're really working to make this also a family experience for the youth clinics. So that feeds into our community building. So all of our parents attend these clinics as well. They get to be involved. And we're really working as well to kind of pass on that educational side of things. So with our coaches and volunteers, we work with USA Ball Hockey to get our coaches certified, background checked. We get them abuse training. And what we're working on right now is also getting parents who are interested in becoming involved in coaching. We're interested in sponsoring their coaching certifications. So really kind of passing on that community so that it can grow and access can grow through us, but also beyond us. And there's a lot of wonderful, not only wonderful sports organizations in the city, but other hockey communities that we have relationships with, such as Ice Hockey in Harlem, which is doing a lot of wonderful work with ice hockey. Also, We Got Next Sports, which is a nonprofit that works for inclusion and giving kids access to different skills through sport. And so, what this, like I said before, what this does off the rink for kids is really the heart and the core of the programming that we're trying to access. And having this specific rink, but having these park spaces be a safe, well-kept hub to be able to run events like this is something that we're really interested in, helping with and working with you guys on. And I personally work in the private education. I'm an education administrator in the city. And so I, every day see what having access to opportunity like this means to kids and how it affects their development. So we're really trying to grow our youth programming, both through clinics and then that community building beyond. All right, Marcella, send it back to you.
Thanks, Ellie. And yeah, so I think Ellie really did, a fantastic job of really, spelling out what we do, what we're accomplishing, and I think the intention behind it, and how that I think really leads to enhanced outcomes in our programming. And I just want to wrap up here with just a note about our community impact, and Ellie touched a little bit about this, and the fact that we're using sport to build community and really to facilitate and really it involves a lot of coalition building. We're working with other organizations, we're working with the community, and we're really trying to essentially get a sense of alignment across those different parties to see really how we can all work together collaboratively to make a bigger impact, not just within our own respective organizations, but across our organizations as well. And that's where I think it really makes a big difference, because here we're not just speaking about serving the community. We're really trying to foster and develop a sense of ownership among our participants. And that really, I think, translates into, sorry, I don't know what happened there. that really sort of translates, I think, into, where we're sort of aligned with, I think, what you are all championing, with that being equity, access, and youth development. And, we are firm believers that parks bring people together and people enrich parks. And so, if we have any time for questions or any comments, we'd love to kind of pass the mic to all of you, and, to let us know, what your priorities are, answer any of your questions, and really just try to understand how we can better serve your district.
Okay, before we go to everybody, I have a question. Looking at the video, I know it's called ball hockey, but it looked like it was a flat puck that they were hitting. So what is it that they hit? Is it a round ball or a flat puck? That's my question.
Very good question. That was actually, to my knowledge, a ball, but there is, you can play, Judy, with, we don't, but roller hockey typically will play with like a disc, like a harder disc, which is kind of like a plastic puck.
Right.
But ball hockey, we play exclusively with a ball. It changes depending on, like, the color might change depending on the weather. But yeah, and it's also, we feel safer.
Okay. I just wasn't sure what I was looking at, so that's why I wanted to check.
Well, it's possible maybe it got snuck in there. I don't know. You could be correct, but I would.
No, you're
not to my
probably
knowledge.
right, and I didn't get it right. Okay, Jonathan, we'll hear from the public first. I see Phyllis's hand is up.
Yes, Phyllis. Meet her first.
This is absolutely amazing and wonderful. And Judy, if maybe we can connect them with Harlem Mears, because maybe this is a great application. So in Harlem Mears, when they're going to have the skating rink, maybe before the ice goes into the skating rink, they would be able to use the skating rink for ball hockey before ice goes in and after the ice comes out, because that's an enclosed rink in Harlem Mears. That might be a great, it's not the whole season, but it would give you guys a few weeks here and a few weeks there in another location.
Okay, I'll be talking from the last question to the Central Park Conservancy. So I'll ask them if there is a time before the ice goes down when the surface might be available, and I can pass that information on to you folks.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about this. I think this is a great thing that you guys are doing, and you'll probably hear from me because it's very interesting.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else from the public? John?
Yasmina is next.
Okay, Yasmina.
Hi, I'm not familiar with your program, but and I'm sorry if I missed this, but do you all provide equipment? Because I know that's a real stumbling block for a lot of parents, is any sport with equipment can be very costly.
And thank you for raising that question. That is definitely something that we addressed as a concern, and we provide all equipment, not just for our youth, but also for any adult programming. A lot of our adults have equipment, but we as a nonprofit have equipment that they are welcome to use and borrow, and if needed, take home. And for the youth, absolutely. All the kids have to do is show up with their sneakers, and we provide everything else. And we also give them a stick to go home and a ball so they can go home and practice on their own, and hopefully kind of come back to the park and be able to kind of play around as well. But I hear you, that is a huge barrier, and that's definitely something that we're trying to address, and that's how we're addressing it. We also have some relationships with, like the Rangers have been supportive. We were awarded the Community Hero Award in 2023. So we received a $10,000 donation from the Rangers. And so part of what we used that towards was getting equipment for our youth and adult programming. And then also we've been in conversations with other organizations that, have been willing, like the Islanders, who have been interested in giving us equipment and things like that to support their cause. So there's definitely growing momentum. in support for this as well. And we're fortunate to have a lot of organizations step up and support us in our mission. So thank you for asking that.
Thank you, Marcella. Okay, is there anyone else from the public, John?
No, no.
Do we have any board members with any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much, Marcella and Ellie, for coming and presenting this to us. I found it very interesting, and it was certainly something that I wasn't aware of until you contacted us. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the success. And I'll get back to you and let you know if the ice for the Harlem Mere before it goes down and after it comes up, if there's any time before the pool opens, that you can use that piece of space. And I'll give you the name of who you and number of who you can contact. Otherwise, I will just get in touch with you and let you know it's not available. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you both for coming. And now we'll move on to our next item. We have our reports by Robert McLean, the regional manager, and Sheena Kaufman, the district manager, on all the various parks in the city. And after their report, I have a few items that we've discussed that I'd like to give an update on. So, Robert, why don't you start?
You got anything for the East River Esplanade? Oh no. We unmuted. Hello? You can hear?
You're there. Go right ahead.
Okay, so we're coming into our summer season. We were fortunate to get a few more people on board to help us out at the East River Esplanade. They're gonna be working the mid shift. They started today, but they got to go through a few classes within the next week or so, and they're going to be responsible for the Andrew Haswell Green area, and working its way uptown. They're going to be working from like 1 to 9, up until Labor Day, and they're going to be there to to make sure they handle the cleaning conditions and any litter conditions that that takes place down at the East River Esplanade. We were really fortunate to get the funds to be able to get this shift here. The East River Esplanade was benefited from this program that the mayor put in place, which is a mid shift, and we were fortunate to get that. The John Jay bathroom, we're gonna be working on it. Hopefully within the next week or so to get the women's bathroom back up and running. It's been down for a while, but it's structurally it's not, it's having some problems in the entrance door. So we have to fix the door, the concrete, but we had to wait till the weather changed. Nothing yet on Rubric. We still waiting for Rubric to come, for things to happen for Rubric. Hopefully there'll be some more, things coming up within the next few months. I talked to Steve and he sent me some information, and things are still progressing.
As I understand it, Sheena, they finally, as we stated last month, they came to a resolution of what had to be done, and now Parks has sent or will send by next month the information back to DEP, and I think Steve's told me by September, hopefully they should have approval from DEP. So once the Parks gets DEP approval, then Rupert Park will start to move along.
Yeah. So it's progressing though. It's moving. I have to say that it's moving. It was at a standstill for a minute, but it's moving in a positive manner. So that was a little hope that we were getting. So I'm just happy to hear that a little hope is happening. And I don't have any. If anybody else has any questions.
Okay, does Robert, do you have any updates that Sheena didn't cover?
Well, one of the things that was very good for the last 3 or 4 months was I had a person in DOT, and you're laughing, yeah? Because
Yeah, well, Ed's gone. The commissioner is gone.
I tell you, it's very difficult to get any information for them, right? From April when we took over the park, I think it was 3 or 4 months before they even acknowledged my emails. And we had a very fine fellow, and I won't mention his names, but he was very, very communicative. Yet I've emailed him 3 times for an update to give you information, and he either is not there anymore or he may not be working anymore, but I haven't heard word one. So I put in another request with Jeremy Friedman here to the entire DOT saying, we want the information from north and south of 100th Street and then 71st to 90th Street, the condition of the lights. But this other fellow was just excellent. It's just that for whatever reason, he may not be there anymore because he was very, very good. So now I'm in a little upset because I haven't found a person yet to correspond with.
Okay.
That's about it, yeah. But we're looking up. Honestly, we're looking up. We're getting more people.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Sheena or Robert before I have some items that I want to bring us up to date on?
Yasmina's first.
Okay. Yasmina?
Hi. Hi. So yeah, I have 2 questions. One, that sounds so great about Andrew Haswell staffing, it sounds like. I'm hoping that means that the green will be open for the public. I'm still not quite clear if that was a seating issue that the public was intentionally being kept off the grounds, or because the area was underfunded to be able to remove that temporary chicken wire fence. Secondly, and much more personally important, is John Jay Pool, which my family lives for. And for the last year, possibly 2, it's been really sad to see the diving pool completely unused. Um, I believe it's a staffing issue. And my question is, what can we, as the public, do? What can we do to help push the reopening of that diving pool? Who do we need to speak to? You know, petition? What do we need to do? Thanks.
Okay, before Robert or Sheena answer about the pool, when they do a new park, usually lawn and planting and grass, Yasmina, is fenced off to give it a chance to take root before the people go walking on it, or depending on what the situation is. So they usually put up fencing. So I imagine Sheena and Robert, by the time May or June comes around, the fencing will come down.
Something that we have to. I would say no, and
No? Longer, it needs more time.
It's not that. It's a very nice lawn, but if you allow it to go, if you take the fences down, you're gonna this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna be compacted. Once it's compacted, the grass blades will die, and then it'll be taken over by weeds. So we have to be very careful how many days we leave it open, and then if we water it, we wouldn't put the fence. If the fence was there after we watered it, then you get on the grass and it's going to be ruined more. And once you lose that lawn, we do not have the ability to bring it back.
Right.
You have to be very careful.
Is there an in-ground sprinkler system there?
No,
No,
it's watered with above ground.
above
sprinkler.
ground. Yeah.
Okay. So then let's talk about that off off camera and see if we can come up and report back on the opening of the lawn, maybe a couple of days a week or something. Let's talk about that, and then we'll get back to everybody next
What
month on the lawn.
what we have been doing is we open it up every time there's an event. You know, like with
Right,
the Dr. Ratner's the musical events. We open it up for everybody,
right.
and other than that, we'd have to check with the
Now
commissioner.
you're talking about the pavilion up on top.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if Yasmina was referring to the new planting done down below on the new part down by the waterfront.
No, she's talking about
Yeah.
the over there.
Up on top.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to clear. I actually I did mean both, but particularly above, which, it does list that it's supposed to be open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Friday through Sunday, and it never is. Even through the best of times, even through the best weather, it's never open. And so at least to be open during those times that it says it's going to be open would be nice.
Well, maybe we have to, Yasmina, let me talk to Robert and Sheena about that. And maybe we have to change the signage. Let me go into more detail. Let's not do it here now. And next month we'll come back with more information on that. Okay, now what about the diving board for the pool?
For John Jay Pool. So last year we struggled once again with lifeguards. And it appears to be that way. Even with all of the incentives that the city was able to provide, we just still struggling with lifeguards. And you need, a certain amount of lifeguards and on deck to be in order to function, both pools at the same time. We barely made it to the regular size pool. So they couldn't open up the diving pool because there just wasn't enough lifeguards available. I'm unsure how it is looking this year, because the numbers haven't came in yet. Hopefully, we're able to increase the numbers from last year. I'm unsure, and some people don't come back. It's a yearly seasonal thing, and that if you did well the previous year, you come back without any issues. So I don't know what the lifeguard count is. I could try to find out and reach out to someone to see how many. We probably won't get an accurate number until the pool opens.
When is that, Sheena, approximately? What month? Give me a month.
It's gonna be in June. I can't give you the date as of yet.
I'm not asking for the date, just
Yeah,
one.
but it's June. We open every June. It's usually when school is out. When school, the end of June. Usually when school lets out, that's when we open. It's like
Okay.
the day after.
Okay, so maybe that's another follow-up for next month for the May meeting.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have more information
The
on
good
that.
thing is that Laska pool is going to open. This year we're gonna need a lot of lifeguards for that.
Well, is Parks Department providing that, or is that the Central Park
No,
Conservancy?
that's Parks.
Okay,
That's Parks.
okay. Okay, are there any other questions before I report on a couple of items?
Phyllis has her hand up next.
Okay, Phyllis.
Hey, two things. One, happy National Pickleball Month to everybody. On April 27th, we are having a pickleball event at Carl Shores Park that, yes, we do have a permit for from 1 to 5 p.m. We're going to have some open play and some clinics and some giveaway and some beginner lessons, and we'll have some pros there. So if you're interested in learning more about pickleball in our community, please come down. But Sheena, so I'm still trying to understand. Julie Menon raised all this money for Carl Shores Parks, and I haven't seen any plan yet. And the other thing was, you had said several times, several months ago, like the end of last summer, that we were going to be able to use the handball court area at First and 97th for pickleball as well. So can you give us an update on what's happening?
Well, I go by there several times and I see people playing pickleball as well as tennis. The ground is really not that great for pickleball. We're gonna probably need funding to be able to do that, but it's open. It's open. I see people
Permanent
playing
lines
pickleball.
we don't have. No permanent line. No permanent line. So we can play
No,
there,
we
but
can't
no.
we can't put the permanent lines there as of yet because the surface is really not that good.
Okay.
For there,
And
but
the
it's
nets you
open for free
promised
play.
us, right? The nets you promised us and the fencing for Carl Shores Park.
It's coming. I just asked them tonight. Yes,
And
it's
do we
coming.
get
I'm
a
not
date?
gonna tell you the date because then you're gonna hold me to it if something happens. But it's
Can you
coming
give me a
really
month?
soon. It's
As
coming
Judy says,
real
give me
soon.
a month. Can you
It's
give me a month?
within a few weeks.
Okay,
Okay.
lovely.
I knew it was coming.
Bless
I was
you
waiting
both
for
of
you.
you. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for your time, Judy.
Within a few weeks, we're gonna get it. I just
Judy, come. We'll teach you pickleball. I promise.
Okay, John, I don't know who CH is.
Don't know, but I'll mute them just to.
Sorry, that's me. My name is Cheryl. I live right off the promenade, and I think we've discussed it a couple of times before, but the overhang by Brearley between 83rd, 84th, 82nd, 83rd is nested. The pigeons are nested underneath that overhang, and it's horrendous. There's all sorts of things coming out of that, and Brearley has never cleaned it up. I don't know if the parks can do anything.
Well, I've been speaking to DCAS because that's that piece of property. It's amazing how the different chunks of property are owned by different city agencies or state agencies.
What's
Don't,
DCAS?
Whatever,
it's
Department of
okay.
Citywide
I just know them as
Administration.
It's
DCAS.
okay.
It's the city agency that handles everything that nobody else handles.
Okay.
Next month, I'll tell you what it stands for.
Okay, no
New
problem.
York
Don't
City
worry.
Department of Citywide Administrative Service.
Thank you,
Okay.
John. And anyway, Brearley has submitted a plan to DOT, and they're waiting for approval from DOT to come to us to present the plan and do the work. And that's something that's one of the items that Felice and I have been following up, and I don't have an answer when that will be, but perhaps I will next month.
That would be great. But Judy,
Okay.
so in my co-op building, they have been promised, we're right behind Brearley, and they've been promising us for years, and they submitted something to us that they were going to clean up all the netting and put in
Yeah,
lights to make
well,
it
but
safe.
there was a
And
whole thing between the city agencies, between DCAS and DOT. I don't want to go into it, but finally they straightened it out and DOT gave permission. I think that they can do the work, and when DOT has to do their work, if they have to take any of it down, DOT will reinstate it. But
because
right
it's
now,
quite unsafe. It's very unsafe. It's
I
unsafe
know.
for the lighting, and then the pigeon problem and the homeless problem. So
Right now, hopefully, maybe I'll have a better answer next month. Right now, DCAS is waiting for DOT to approve Brearley's latest plans.
okay,
That's where we are right now.
that would be great.
That will definitely be something I'll follow up for next
I would
month.
appreciate it. Yeah, because it is unsafe.
Okay. Is there anyone else with questions, John?
It's big for now.
Okay, so let me catch you all up on some of the things that we've talked about over the last couple of years in parks. When Tricia Shimmer Moore, who's now our Manhattan Borough Commissioner of Parks, was the co-chair of Parks with Barry Schneider. We spoke almost monthly about making a park at the 72nd Street cul-de-sac. And that will not happen because that's actually a bridge and DOT must keep possession of that property. So no memorandum of understanding can be done. However, DOT is working with Councilmember Menon's office, who gave some money. And we hope they'll be getting back to us soon about fixing up that area for community use. So I've been talking to Harry Gale at Julie Menon's office, and hopefully maybe next month we'll have a more detailed information, or maybe Harry will even come and talk to us. The tennis bubble, which we've asked to be power washed, was power washed. And it does look better on the 59th and 60th Street sides than it did before. They didn't get all the rust off, but it looks a lot better for the community. And if we can get them to continue doing that, I think it'll be a big improvement for the community. A lot of the dirt and dust was removed. Okay, now the last thing I want to give you an update on is we had an open meeting to the community, the Parks Department did, run by Steve Simon, about 24 Sycamores Park and what everybody would like to see. Now, I don't except for Yasmina, I don't think I remember any of our parks people being there at this meeting. I'm not sure, Yasmina, if you were there or not, but I think you might have been. So let me read you. They took notes of what all the people who attended, and they had a really large attendance, what they said they'd like to see at the park. Under play, big kid swings, tire swings, improve the grade to make more room for play, dedicated play areas for a variety of age groups, keep play areas for small and big children nearby. They want to put in a ramp from the upper level to the lower level so that when parents are on the upper level, they can watch their bigger kids down below with their little kids up above. And people also suggested that there be a sandbox. So these are all things that they're considering. It doesn't mean that they're going to do them. Spray shower is well used, and walk-through sprinklers were a thing. And of course, Phyllis, as you know, the pickleball people showed up in great numbers and asked for pickleball. So that was discussed at the lower level with in some kind of combination with the basketball courts. A new multi-use surface for sports, storage for sports equipment, a dedicated line paint layout for pickleball. Handball courts were very well used for a variety of purposes, for tennis, and people would like to see those kept. It was suggested they be moved, but I don't think that was in the, more people wanted them to remain. Rotate, lighting so that people could be playing in the evening. They'd like to have improved lighting there. Planting to help improve the environment, add more plants to the area. That was a big plus by a lot of people. And plant more sycamores to make 24 sycamores the namesake, to have that number again. Seating areas, benches at the sports courts, seating areas for seniors, more tables for families. Safety, improve the drainage, ponding at the playground. lighting coverage to deter unwanted activity. And speaking of unwanted activity, the fence height became a big issue because they talked about a lower fence, and there are a lot of homeless people in that area, and we spoke out that a lower fence would only encourage the homeless people to have some place to spend their evenings. Environmental hazard study for air quality, improvement of air quality, gates that can be, well, the gates will be lower, so they will be easier to close. Keep pathways to adult areas out of children's play area. Some adult fitness equipment, light exercise equipment for seniors. Other topics were places for seniors to gather, engage site area if possible with adjacent property under the bridge. Oh, and then people asked that the Parks Department send out people to survey the parks to see how often and what usage, for instance, the climbing equipment, the handball courts, the basketball courts, what usage they were getting, so that when they fixed up the park, they would know what areas they had to pay the most attention to. And everybody thought that was a really great idea to send out parks people to look at how the park was actually being used now. And also an additional entrance on the east side of the park. In other words, there would be an entrance for the upper part and the lower part. And of course, as I mentioned before, the ramp for accessibility. And I do want to mention that our council member, Julie Menon, was really great. She gave 3.2 million to help with this, and we got 1.14 million from MSK to help fix up 24 Sycamores Park. Now, the one thing that I didn't mention, which is the really big problem, is the bathroom. Now, Sheena had told us that they put in some porta potties down in the lower part of the park, and they may be adding another one for the person who will be working there. And the two men who Robert mentioned who will be on the Esplanade. So they will have their own porta potty, and they're supposed to be cleaned 4 times a week, which Sheena, you'll be getting a report on that, whether it's really happening. And as far as actually fixing the bathrooms there, I think we mentioned last time that there's a severe problem that goes deep in underground. And I spoke with the person in the Parks Department who is trying to straighten out the funding for this work. And he said he can't give me any information for tonight's meeting, but by next month's meeting, we should know about whether they have the funding, have located a place to have funding and actually do this repair to the to the bathrooms there. So that's my report on 24 Sycamores Park. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer as best I can. Yes, Mina has her hand up.
Hi. Yes, I was definitely there at that meeting.
Right. I thought
First,
so.
I just want to understand for 72nd Street cul-de-sac, that was $250,000 that was going to be funded through the MSK
Right.
community benefit. Does that then free up those funds for something else? Because I can tell you, we've also been in touch with Harry Gale and communicated our displeasure at not really having a voice in that community benefits agreement. And we've been asking, and he's been very
Yes,
receptive. I just want to say he's been very receptive to the idea of possibly having public access to Rockefeller University and or figuring out a gate system that would protect the lawn on Andrew Haswell Park. So I'm just wondering if this is all
Now,
kind of serendipitous.
no, it is not, because
No.
what needs to be done at the cul-de-sac at
Yeah.
72nd Street is more than 250,000, because they don't just want to put down a spread concrete down. They want to have some kind of pattern and make it more park-like. And now we're talking about, raising the funds. So this
Okay.
is something also that I'm following up. And as we get more information on it, I will definitely, if I know more, be reporting on that next month.
Okay, then so
Okay.
then these other things that I've been in touch with Harry Gale, maybe these are just like additional things that could, greenify the neighborhood. Our communication with him has just been boiled down to like, can we use what we have in better ways? Can we have better access to what we have? So it's an exciting way to look at things, rather than requiring a ton of funding. Related to that, in terms of porta potties, is there any possibility to partner with Con Ed that they could provide the Parks Department with access to their porta potties? They have an entire facility right there. I mean, it would be really nice for taxpayers to save some money if they could just give bathroom access to parks workers
Well,
if
the
they're
Con
requiring a
Ed,
separate
Yasmina, the
toilet.
Con Ed location to go from 24 Sycamores to get into the Con Ed location
Not
is,
for park goers. It sounded like you were talking about
I'm
a porta
talking,
potty for workers.
yes, the employees. And so,
So the employees, that's too far for employees to go for a bathroom?
well, it might be. And I think let's let Parks work this out. And I think that's
Okay, just a
their problem.
suggestion. I don't know if it was thought of, but just a suggestion and
Okay.
ways to save money. And then just one final note about 24 Sycamores. The number of ideas were very inspiring. I'm always inspired to hear about ways to use outdoor space. I was concerned about $4.3 million, as we know, doesn't go very far these days. So I'm just hopeful that it can be used in a way that would really improve our neighborhood rather than getting stuck in it at a midpoint where we run out of funds and actually it makes things worse,
Well,
if
I
you know what
have
I
to
mean.
say, Parks is very good. Have to give them kudos on this, on planning parks. They do a good job, and they know what they can spend and how to spend it. And it may take a very long time to get it done.
That's
Time
that's
is
the
a
that's the
problem,
real fear. That's the real
but
fear.
but they don't undertake what they can't do. They know
Right, but
what they
but
do.
again, I guess time is actually what the main concern is. Is a
Well,
renovation like this gonna put it out of commission for 4 or 5
Yasmina,
years?
they came to us. We gave them what we wanted to hear. Now they will come back to the Parks Committee with a plan when they're ready to do that. I don't know when that's going to be. Sheena, maybe you can ask Steve and to give us an idea how many months it'll be before they come back to us, so that we can get the word out to everybody to attend that Parks meeting that was at the original meeting. Okay. Barbara, I see your hand is up.
Hi, thanks. Just an idea. Today's news, there was the whole thing about we gotta go or you're in type of thing about more bathrooms on. And they were talking about a very quickly assembled, low-cost, clean bathroom that they're thinking of putting around the city. I wonder, instead of spending a load of money fixing a bathroom, is that something to think about? And I'm sure Parks knows and would be able to do it, but the so I won't even comment. I've asked to comment anymore unless you wanted to. But it was an interesting concept that I heard on the news. Um, the second thing, just the comment about opening up Rockefeller University. It brought back memories. You probably remember, Judy, when Rockefeller was doing work and we said, "What can you do for us?" And we said, "Can't you open your space?" And the answer was absolutely no, that they have secure stuff and things are open and they have to secure it. What they did do, I think you went also, we used to go Friday afternoons to the concerts. I think you had gone. They don't have those anymore since COVID, and that wonderful man that ran it is no longer with us. So I don't know if we will be able to use that as a wonderful open space. It's a beautiful space, and they had said no to us, if you remember, Judy.
They do let us have community board meetings there.
Yes, 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 but
And
not
they
just, they won't
do,
let us run around, use the green space as a
right.
park or anything
And
like
they do take care of that part of the Esplanade
that. Oh, they did a
by
wonderful
them.
job.
And they did a wonderful job and they take care of it very well. And so
They
we
were the
thank them.
start of these institutions redoing the park and imagining. Do you remember what was the name of the landscape artist that really did this fantastic job, and others followed in suit because of them? So that was a suggestion, and then they went beyond just letting us go in. So no criticism of Rockefeller. It was just a comment of, can we use it?
Okay, well, I think that's it for tonight. And next month we'll try and follow up on some of these issues and some of the older issues. And next month, I believe we're going to hear from Hospital for Special Surgery with an update from them and the Esplanade and the Muslim volunteers are coming next month to tell us about what they do and give us an update about what they're doing at Rupert Park. So if I have a motion to adjourn?
Judy, Yasmina just has her hand up, I
Yes,
believe.
Yasmina.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to respond that it was Kylie architecture, landscaping, it's glorious. And Rockefeller does still open to the public periodically. So the security issue, there could be creative solutions, possibly entailing ID. There's ways, and it would be lovely to get the support of the community board to revisit this. It would certainly improve quality of life for all of us.
Thank you. We can look into that. We can talk to Rockefeller. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Barry has his hand raised up next.
Okay, and Barry, and do we have a second? Okay, so we'll see you all next month. Okay. Rita, I need to talk to you if you can call me. And Sheena, I need to talk to you tomorrow about a couple of